Selling life insurance is an insanely rewarding career, but burnout is a big thing that you need to address. And it's a challenge for the most tenured agent as well as a brand new insurance agent. It's not uncommon to experience burnout in this industry, but the good news is I'm going to give you 5 tips that you can take to heart to hopefully mitigate this massive problem that creates chaos for some just amazing insurance agents. So before I dive into these 5 tips that you want to take down, if you got pen and paper, go grab them. But while you're doing that, my name is Jason. I'm your friend in the business, and I'm so blessed to partner with amazing brand new and veteran agents alike in our national agency selling life, Medicare, and annuities face to face, but more importantly, in the telespace, and free resources always for your taking at jasonfinalexpense.com. And I appreciate you joining with us in this content. I hope it's a blessing to you. So, first off, understand that if you're in a state of burnout, you're not a unicorn here. It's not uncommon. So first off, know that it's going to be okay. But tip number 1, if you got pen and paper handy, is you need to start setting achievable and realistic goals. You're robbing yourself of energy and engagement when you're being unrealistic with your expectations. A lot of insurance agents will jump into this industry thinking, wow, I'm going to go be a top performing agent right away. It can happen, but don't expect to sell 20 policies your very first week starting out. You need to have realistic goals so that you don't rob yourself of the joy that's had when you meet a need, when you sell a final expense telesales policy. This is big for you. Have a very big, achievable goal that you actually can attain. And then I want you to feel good about hitting it. You want a big goal when you first get going, and setting unrealistic goals will rob you of your joy, and it's going to create chaos, and you're going to feel burnt out because you're not good enough, right? So set a really big goal. That's the fix for you setting unrealistic goals when you first get going, but big, achievable goals. You want to be able to bag your first sale. You want to help great people. Be about serving, not just selling. But if you've got realistic goals, you're going to get going in the morning with maybe a little bit more pep up in your step when you feel like you've been put down. It's no good when you've got that burnout feeling. It's just, believe it or not, tanks your energy. And energy and belief are so important to you becoming a top performer in this space. So set realistic goals. Now, once you've hit your big goal, now I want you to start breaking down small, achievable goals, because small steps will help you get to the big goal. But if you start jumping over steps, you're going to hurt yourself. Don't take shortcuts here. Big, realistic goals when you first get going. And if you're feeling burnout, go back to a big, realistic goal. I want you to just focus on one person that you can help today. One, just one. Don't think about your week's worth of work. Just one little thing. Small steps, my friends, to the big goals is tip number 1. Tip number 2, if you're a final expense agent experiencing some burnout, is I want you to start taking breaks. Number 2, you're thinking that I'm going to tell you to hustle. No, I'm going to tell you to slow the beat down right now. I want you to start taking breaks. Breaks are so important for you to get your mind and your body in alignment. You need more energy. You need more focus right now. And that's going to come when you're in a state of burnout from just breathing, my friends. Take a breath in. Even if it's a micro break, take 5 minutes, put some headphones on, listen to some good, calm music. Maybe you need to listen to some good music. Maybe you need to listen to something that peps you up, gets you back into the zone. Music can be magical, but take a break right now. Take a breath. Remember what you are about today. And that's helping people, not just hustling. Hustling for hustle's sake can leave you in a state that you're hurried, you're burnt out, believe it or not. So tip number 2 is big. Take a break. Even if it's a micro break, take 10 minutes. Go for a little step away that you can get your mind and your body in a place that it rests, recharges itself, even if it's a micro break. Breaks are important to break you out of this feeling of being burned out. You need more energy right now. You need more focus. Listen to some tunes, lay on the floor in your office if you need to, and just breathe. Okay. It's going to be okay. First off. Now, tip number 3, this is big for you experiencing burnout, is have some self-care. Now, I'm not talking about, all right, talking to some weirdo. All right. I'm talking about getting yourself in a place where you exercise, where you relax for a second. Like we talked about in tip number 2, take a break, for goodness sakes. Give yourself some space to unwind. Just sit and say nothing. Listen. I want you to be able to physically and mentally be in a place that you are feeling good about yourself, that you're healthy. You're in a place that you need to restore your sense of purpose before you place another phone call. If you're in a place of burnout, get into a place of self-care. Maybe do some push-ups like what I do every day. Maybe get your steps on, go on a little walk really quick. All right. Now don't walk off and never come back, but I'm talking about get yourself in a place where you exercise daily, where you relax and unwind, listen to some music. Maybe you need to read the good book. You need to read some scripture. You need to read some self-help books. You need to get something into you so that you can pour into other people. It's tough to pour from an empty glass. I get it. I work really hard just like you do and working 12 hours, 14 hours in a day. I love it. But it's because I keep things very regimented. I exercise, and I'm so blessed to partner with amazing insurance agencies and brand new and veteran agents. I love what we do. The greater that we help others, the greater that we can help ourselves in this position, right? But you've got to have some self-care. Get yourself into a place where you physically and mentally and spiritually and emotionally start pouring back into yourself. If you're one that likes fishing, good. I want you to go fishing on the weekend again. All right. I want you to, if you're a soccer person, and maybe you like football, maybe you like basketball and you haven't done it in a long time, I want you intentionally to go do that. Get yourself into a place where you care for yourself. Maybe you like martial arts, go do more of that. And maybe you like cross stitching or crossword puzzles, whatever your jam is. Maybe you like listening to an LP. Go do that, my friends. Get into an environment where you give yourself permission to care for yourself. If you don't care for you, how can you care for others? Get yourself in a position where self-care comes into play so that you can become more powerful to then go protect your final expense prospects. If you want to get yourself out of burnout, believe it or not, you got to get yourself in an environment where you care for yourself. That is important. And I hope you like the video so far. If you do, could you hit that button for me if you like it? And if you don't, please put it in the comments that this is a bunch of poo-poo. That's all right too. You won't hurt my feelings. I hope you find this valuable today. Now, tip number 4, this is big. I want you to connect with colleagues. Who feels your pain better than another partner in the industry, like what we have here at jasonfinalexpense.com? Who feels your pain more? Your wife will probably tell you to get back on the phone. Your husband may say, I'm sick of hearing you complain. Get back on those calls. And I'm not saying that your husband or your wife isn't right here, but I want you to connect with colleagues, because when you experience burnout, believe it or not, a lot of insurance agents want to isolate. That's going to hurt you. It's going to harm you. One is none. And you're going to get yourself hurt if you're in a burnout phase. And believe it or not, you don't collect your thoughts and get with a colleague fast. Get with a colleague. Put your hand up. Let them know that you're hurting. Don't isolate. Get yourself into a place where you're connected and supported from people that speak your language. Insurance agents know the fight. We know the feelings, so that when we listen to your frustrations, we know where you are. We know where you've been. And more importantly, we know where you're going, my friends. We know where you're going. And this is why we got to get out of our own way. Insurance agents that hurt themselves, the self-harm of isolation is what takes place. Don't do this. Connect with your colleagues. Connect with the powerful men and women around you who can restore your joy and your sense of purpose and your prioritization. If you want to get out of a place of burnout with final expense or life insurance sales, get with your colleagues fast. Put your hand up. Do not self-isolate. Get around good people that can help be powerful for you. All right. Tip number 5 is you've got to get into a place of personal development. I'm talking about reading. I'm talking about training. I'm talking about growing in the business. You care more about your business than anybody, but when you're in a place of burnout, we're not thinking straight. We got to get into training, get our fundamentals right, get our fundamentals tight. Even the best barber on the planet with a scalpel sharp razor has to use a leather strop to keep that edge. Sometimes we get into a place of burnout and we lose our edge. We're like cutting with a dull butter knife, and we know we're better than this. So get yourself into a place where you use personal development to be more dynamic. Get into a good book, all right, that, believe it or not, gets you back your inner fire. Get around a good training system like what we have at jasonfinalexpense.com. Train, practice, drill, get yourself better to be dynamic. It's self-help. You've got to help yourself, and you got to say, you know what? I need a little personal development today. I have not arrived, because no one arrives in this industry. I haven't, and I've been in this industry a long time. I'm not perfect, proficient, yes, but none of us will ever be perfect. Watch enough of my content here, and you'll see me stumble over my own tongue. It's all right to fall every now and then, but don't fail. Don't stop. You have what it takes, my friends. You can get out of burnout. I know it's challenging, but set realistic goals. Number 1, if you're taking notes still. Number 2, take breaks. Number 3, practice self-care. Number 4, put your hand up and connect with colleagues now. Do not isolate. I want you to be connected and supported. And sometimes certain insurance agencies, you're on an island of yourself. They don't know how to be there for you. And I'm sorry. A lot of places, their houses, not homes, in the insurance industry, in the independent space, and in the captive captive space. That's why so many great agents partner here, because they found that they've got people that are truly going to be there for them and help them become the top performer in insurance sales that they know that they can be. But it takes us changing a couple little things, getting into a place where we will personally develop so that we can be that dynamic force for good. And hopefully you will find success and get out of that burnout quickly and be a top performer in insurance sales. I appreciate you watching. I hope these tips help you as you help yourself, but more importantly, protect some of the greatest people that we are so privileged to talk to. Thanks for watching, my friends. I hope this was a help to you. And remember, you have what it takes. We'll see you soon.